I would like to begin with a poem written by Shalon Harkin, the title of which is The Worst Thing. The worst thing we ever did was put God in the sky, out of reach, pulling the divinity from the leaf, sifting out the holy from our bones, insisting God isn't bursting dazzlement through everything we've made a hard commitment to see as ordinary. Stripping the sacred from everywhere to put in a cloud man elsewhere, prying closeness from your heart. The worst thing we ever did was take the dance and the song out of prayer, made it sit up straight and cross its legs, removed it of rejoicing, wiped clean its hip sway, its questions, its ecstatic yowl, its tears. The worst thing we ever did is pretend God isn't the easiest thing in this universe, available to every soul in every breath. What a beautiful poem. The sentence that stands out the most for me is, insisting God isn't bursting dazzlement through everything we've made a hard commitment to see as ordinary. What is ordinary? According to the dictionary, it's with no special or distinguishing features, uninteresting, commonplace. Well, you would have to make a hard commitment to see life this way. I think when we choose to see life as ordinary, we are making an unconscious decision to be ordinary. Perhaps there's a fear that this bedazzled life isn't possible, that it's magical thinking. This is where the application of unity principles plays a vital role for me. These principles are not unique to unity. They are woven through all the major faith traditions. And they are. God is. God is all there is. It is the infinite creative energy of love. We are, human beings are inherently divine. Mind is creative. Thoughts and beliefs create the events and experiences of our lives. Prayer and meditation. Affirmative prayer and meditation are practical tools we teach, and we can use these tools to design these events and experiences. Choice. It is a choice to live from and activate this spiritual teaching beyond an intellectual understanding. And this is where action comes in, because action is necessary for any change to occur. Complacency is devoid of action. When I was ready, I took steps to change my thinking, and my life has been transformed. I participate in my community because that which we appreciate appreciates. Shalon goes on to say, we have removed the dance and the song out of prayer. That was true in my childhood. I did not understand what I was saying, or why I was saying it. There was no feeling tone. Even if you are unfamiliar with the 5 steps of affirmative prayer, there's always a feeling that invites receptivity. Finally, why isn't God the easiest thing in this universe, available to every soul in every breath? I'll let you ponder that. Thank you. This is the part where we get to do the affirmation together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it once. You're going to let it sink in for a moment. And then we're going to share that same affirmation together twice. I invite you to take a breath in and out and really absorb the words. Don't make them ordinary. I grow in mighty and powerful ways through the power of the infinite expressing through me. Together. I grow in mighty and powerful ways through a power of the infinite expressing through me. Again, I grow in mighty and powerful ways through the power of the infinite expressing through me.
Need a moment of peace or inspiration? Call the Unity of Tucson prayer line for a comforting, uplifting prayer, available 24/7. Each month, we offer a new affirmative prayer to support you on your prayer journey. Take a deep breath, listen, and know that you are never alone. Call today and let the power of prayer uplift your spirit.
When I know that I'm going to be delivering a talk here or anywhere else, I start receiving messages as to what I need to speak about. As I say, I take dictation from Spirit. And today's talk might touch a tender spot within you. And it is not my intention to bring any discomfort to you, but rather to do as I'm told and share with you the message that I need to deliver today. That's my little brother. His name is Jorge. He was named after his father, my stepfather, Jorge. So sometimes he goes by Junior, sometimes he goes by Jorgito, which is diminutive of Jorge in Spanish. He came to this world, as they say, unplanned. My mother, in her mid-40s, became pregnant, and here is Jorgito. A boy filled with energy, enthusiasm, clever, if not sneaky. You can tell. And a loving boy. Yet, on a day in May of 1988, he was running across our driveway, slipped on something, fell back, and fell unconscious at the very, very bad timing that a car was coming into the driveway, could not see him, and the car ran over him. He was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead on arrival at 8 years of age. Why do these things happen? I don't know, but they do, and it is for us to work through them. Author Brian Weiss, in his book, Many Lives, Many Masters, writes that many times souls come to this world to make a sacrifice so that other people may learn a lesson that they need to learn. Did Jorgito come to make a sacrifice? I do not know, but I have a hard time explaining why such a boy filled with life chose, if we believe that we have that choice, to depart at 8 years of age. But that's what he did. And I took that picture one time as he was being the mischievous little boy that he was always. That's my mother, Nieves. About 5 years after the accident, she was in the kitchen getting dinner ready for the family. She went to grab a glass, and it fell out of her hand, and she burst into tears. My stepfather came to the rescue and said, "Why are you crying? It's just a glass." And she said, "I lost the ability to grip on things." Eventually, she went to a doctor and she was diagnosed with breast cancer. that had metastasized into other parts of her body, including the lymph nodes under her arm, and she could no longer grasp things. She had mastectomy surgery. Then she had several months of chemo. And then on a day in April in 1994, at the age of 52, she passed away. She told me a few days before she died that the surgery and the chemo were more painful and brought more suffering to her than the disease itself. Why do these things happen? I don't know. But I just wonder if my siblings, my stepfather, if we could all have prevented my mother's early departure. I wonder if through our love and kindness towards her, her body may have reacted in a different way than it did to the event of 5 years prior where she lost her last son. Would it be possible through the power of our mind to effect change in our body? What do you think? Unity was started by a couple, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Myrtle Fillmore had tuberculosis. She went to the doctors of the time. She was sent home to die because there's nothing they could do for her. She started learning these principles, which then became Unity principles, started applying themselves, started talking to her body, being loving to her body, blessing her body, and in 2 years, she was free of tuberculosis. There's a book, which is a collection of letters that Myrtle wrote, titled How to Let God Help You. And in that book, in one of the letters, she writes, there is nothing in the cell structure of the so-called cancer that will not respond readily to the radiation of love, life, and substance. Oops. The appearance is but the effect of concentrating attention upon negative beliefs and undesirable conditions. That's what Myrtle wrote about. Now, let me be clear. I am in no way discarding the wonders of the medical sciences and of medical practitioners. They do serve a purpose. What I am saying is that Myrtle teaches us that through our mind and through the practice of love, life, etc., we can cause healing on our body. And I just cannot help wonder if my brothers and sisters, my stepfather, could have caused healing, effected healing on my beautiful mother. I will never know the answer to the question, but I think about it. What could we have done that medicines and surgeries couldn't do that would change how my mother's body reacted to what was going on in her mind? Said another way, there is intelligence in the cells of your body. Let me say that again. There is intelligence in the cells of your body. And through the power of your mind, you can speak to that intelligence. Through the power of your positive thoughts, you can positively speak to that intelligence. And through the power of your negative thoughts, you can negatively speak to that intelligence. And you, my friends, get to choose. Pain happens, but suffering is a choice. And it's never too late to make a turnaround. It's never too late to start speaking to the cells of your body with loving kindness. It's never too late so that you bring on healing to yourself, possibly with help from medical sciences and technology and practitioners, but you bring healing to the cells of your body. My mother was driving the car that ran over my brother. How do you explain that to yourself? How do you deal with that? Are we helpless? Or if it happens to somebody else, are you helpless to them, or can you be helpful? I, for one, am sorry, Mom, if I could not do the right thing to make you feel my love while I still could. Folks, do not wait one more minute. Do not delay one more minute to make a loving and kind space for the people that you love. Let me say that again. Do not wait 1 minute. Don't wait until this talk is over to start offering your loving kindness space to the people that you love. Because by this afternoon, it might be too late. There's a book that came into my life as I was starting my unity journey, titled Real Love by Greg Bear. That book explained a lot of things to me about relationships and the behaviors of other people, because it is those behaviors that usually bring conflict. That book was a blessing. I highly recommend it. Real Love by Greg Bear. And in that book, Mr. Bear writes that real love is unconditionally caring about the happiness of another person. Real love is unconditionally caring about the happiness of another person. And this is the sentence that really did it for me in that whole book. With real love, with unconditional love, nothing else matters. And without it, nothing else is enough. Have you had a pile of money in the bank and not felt love? And was that money enough for you? Have you not had much money in the bank, but you were filled with love in your life? Did your bank account matter to you? So without real love, without unconditional love, there's a huge hole that needs to be filled in our lives. And sometimes we make the right choices as to how to fill that hole. Sometimes we make the wrong choices. But without unconditional love, nothing else is enough. And with unconditional love, nothing else matters. And once again, starting now, I was going to say starting today, but today is too late. Starting now, make sure that you offer loving kindness, space to everybody in your life. You know, these teachings are not new. The book is new, well, 20-some years old, but these teachings are not new. There was a man named Paul of Tarsus. Maybe you know it as St. Paul. And much of Christianity is based on the writings of Paul, not so much on the teachings of Jesus. And Paul used to write letters to congregations across the region, trying to teach his version of early Christianity. And Paul wrote a letter to the Colossians. And in it, going back almost 2,000 years, he said, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, and patience. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against the other, forgive each other. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. And above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Love binds everything together in perfect harmony. Love is the glue that holds the universe together. Without it, we're falling apart. Without it, we're falling apart. Do we look like we're falling apart these days? What is missing? And where does that love start? You cannot love anybody if you do not love yourself. And you're making it very difficult to others to love you if you do not love yourself. That's square one. However, above everything there is around you, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Rhetorical question like Reverend Jonathan says, are you willing to do that? She said yes. She said yes too. Oh. Who invited her? You're right, I said rhetorical. Okay, non-rhetorical question. Are you willing to do that? Yes. See? Yes. There's a story of a man, a tourist, that was walking around in New York City, with a map in his hand, and he stops at a crosswalk and asks a local, excuse me, sir, how do I get to Carnegie Hall? And the New Yorker looked back and he said, practice, practice, practice. Linda, how do you get to be so darn good? Practice, practice, practice. We in Unity have the so-called 5 basic principles that are basically our guideline for doing Unity. And the 5th principle basically says, it ain't good enough to learn this stuff, you have to put it to practice. It will not help you any to come here, sing the songs, listen to the talks, and go home and be your old self. You have to put these teachings to practice. So in the presence of each other, we surrender, we let it go. We let go of the ego, we open to the presence of Spirit within us. I am an agent of love in this world. I choose to do so. I make up my mind to do so. And I know that I have the full backing of Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for you show me the way to make a space for loving kindness for everyone in my life and in the world. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is, now and always. Amen. So I am going to give you home practice. Get your phones ready, and it's also on our website, will be. Number 1, ask yourself, how may I be more loving and kind with myself and with others? How may I be more loving and kind with myself and with others? Number 2, make a plan. Air traffic controllers do it, pilots do it, instructors do it, you can do it. Make a plan. And number 3, make it work. So I am deputizing you to go out and be agents of love in this world. I am an agent of love in this world. Are you willing to say that with me? I didn't hear you. I am an agent of love in this world. Yes, you are. And do not wait one more minute to share your love and your kindness with those you love. Because by doing so, you will be healing the very cells of your bodies. I bless you.